Hello, Senpai Recap is here. Please consider subscribing and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so that you are always updated with our uploads. We continue with Aji's group as they go to the location of one of the killers of Hana's grandfather. On their way there, Aji cooked a meal for his friends while they shared their pasts. Aji says his father left when he was 5 years old, and a few months later, his mother followed. Since then, he was raised by distant relatives until he was old enough to live on his own. Dora confesses that she can't remember much of anything, and all she knows is that she was alone in the beginning and lived the life of a wanderer. Any memories she does have are very hazy, and recalling them too much hurts her head. Then Stan does a full-body scan of her and shows that her memories have been deliberately sealed away by someone. The group arrives at the stone forest, and Stan detects a hidden entrance nearby. They find a deserted village, and in Stan's state, there have been numerous rumors of passers-by disappearing without a trace. Up ahead of the village, they find a crimson field of red spider lilies and a house in the middle. Then Mayao suddenly felt that someone was about to leave the house, so they immediately hid. A man comes out of the house and starts plowing the ground. Meow confirmed no spiritual fluctuations in him, indicating he's just a normal farmer. They observe as the man goes about his normal activities until Dora is startled by a rat, and they wonder if they have been seen. The farmer starts waving at them, so Aji and Dora forcefully walk up to him. The man says that he hasn't had any visitors in some time, and Aji explains that he and his classmates are doing fieldwork in the area for a school project. The man thinks Aji is alone, and it becomes clear that he is not a summoner since he can't see Dora. After more than 10 years of being alone, the man says he is happy to have a guest. He recounts that in the past, the people were unable to plant anything, and a little girl used to dream of spreading flowers over the rock field. After years of trying many different kinds of seeds, none of them lived. After she passed away, the man chose to honor her wish. He has been growing flowers for 10 years, and he wants to see her dream come true. Suddenly, the winds grow stronger and turn into a full-fledged storm. The man runs toward the field and says no one has hurt his flowers. Stan is horrified by the scan's results, but he doesn't have time to explain and tell them that they must rush to kill the man. However, they are far too late, and the man's body begins to transform into Ruthless, the Destroyer Earth Summoner. Ruthless immediately attacks Aji, allowing him to use his shield, but it was immediately destroyed by the strong attack. Mayao's attacks do nothing to the man's thick skin. Even Dora and Aji are not able to scratch it, but Dora says she has a plan. Dora asks Mayao and Stan to buy her some time until she and Aji can use one of her tricks. Mayao was the first one to fight Ruthless and initially had the upper hand due to her speed, but he grabbed her and slammed her on the ground, dealing serious damage. It's Stan's turn to hold back Ruthless. He's using holographic projection to confuse Ruthless about his position. Stan reveals that Ruthless's real name is Majuo, and he is 26 years old. He suffers from severe trauma in his brain, causing him to have a split personality and other mental illnesses. Ruthless has had enough and releases a power that forces Aji to protect Stan. From the crack underneath, the human bones came out, and Aji realized what really happened to the villagers. Ruthless then attacked again, but it was easily stopped by Aji. Dora asks Aji if he can feel the powerful surge of energy flowing through him, and she explains that she is sharing every bit of knowledge she has about all the weapons available to him. Now that he knows more, he charges at Ruthless with a lance, then slashes at him with a sword, stabbing him in the chest with a dagger, and finally slamming him to the ground with a hammer. The hammer strikes his core, causing Ruthless's stone armor to shatter, and he is able to turn Majuo back into a human being. He begs them not to kill him, saying that would only make matters worse. He explains that he was possessed by parasitic evil spirits before he was even born, causing his mother to die while giving birth. A few years later, his father also died of a mental breakdown. He was tormented as a child for being a monster that couldn't control his own body. The villagers held a trial and decided to tie him up in the mountains to die. But one day, a girl named Ahiwa saw him and shared his food with him. Ever since, she gives him food every day. She'd always dreamed of growing flowers out of rocks, but would repeatedly fail. Then Majuo asked her to give her a flower seed, out of which she successfully grew a white spider lily on his stone arm. They spent years of bliss together, but things got worse in the stone village. The village began to suffer, and everyone was convinced he was the curse that was causing all this misfortune and decided to kill him once and for all. Ahua comes to his defense, but the villagers reveal that they know she is the reason he is still alive. The villagers mercilessly beat them up. One of the villagers swung his sickle on them, stabbing her in the back. The person he most wanted to protect has now died in his arms. He lets out the parasite, and the anger that had been building in him for years instantly takes over. The entire village was destroyed, and much blood had been spilled. From the day onward, the flowers started to grow atop rocks. He reveals that what lies in his chest is not a core but a seal. He suddenly felt something different in his body, and Stan detected powerful spiritual energy levels, and the man lost control once again. It was revealed that the Destroyer leader was the one who sealed his parasitic spirit in the chains and core of his body. The seal is completely broken now, and Stan reveals that Muto has already died. The group started attacking the giant monster, and Aji took out his swords and attacked the giant monster. Stan used his phone to blast him, but it looks like it is not working. Mayabu followed the attack with his wolf fangs, but even though that power is still not working, she got stabbed. Stan is knocked back as well, and Aji tries to use Dora's hammer once again. However, the hammer is immediately destroyed, and Aji is forced to use the several other weapons in his arsenal. Not even a spear through the head is enough, and Aji asks that Dora focus all her energy on him. He wants to take down the monster in one blow. He is able to summon a giant sword, but the monster destroys it with ease. Then he gets a punch to hit the ground hard, immediately loses consciousness, and no matter what Dora wakes up him, he will not wake up. The monster attacked again and forced Dora to stop it. The monster's attack is relentless, but she doesn't give up. Meanwhile, Aji dreamed of the crystal inside Dora's body when he touched the crystal in front of him. Dora is surrounded by light and transformed into a crystal. Up in the sky, 100 swords appear and fall on the monster, which finally pins the spirit down. We see Dora's appearance change with large crystal wings, red hair, completely black eyes, and a pair of horns. Then she summoned a gigantic sword from the sky called the Judgment of Heaven, which completely obliterated the Earth's spirit. In the aftermath, Aji wakes up next to Dora, who has returned to her form, and their friends are okay as well. They check on Madu's body to confirm he's dead. After the death of Majuo, Aji knows that the destroyers are hunting them now. After they said goodbye to Majuo, they left. Later that night, the destroyers arrive to find Muro's corpse, and their leader performs a spell that allows him to read his last memories. He sees everything, and they bid farewell to their fallen comrade. The team has defeated the destroyers in their initial battle, but Aji and Meow are still out cold due to their injuries. Suddenly, Stan's phone alerts him to massive spiritual energy fluctuations and rapidly approaching their location. Shadow appears in front of the van and slices it in two. Crow also appears, then blasts them with his magic. Flame appears behind Stan, and Meow points a gun at them and shoots it. Aji tries to raise his head to look at them, but all the destroyers stand in front of him, blocking his view. The leader, Hart, is disappointed in learning they are weak. He advises Aji to hold his breath because Hart will read his final words straight from his brain after he dies. Suddenly, he awakens in another dimension, where he meets a mysterious man who explains to him that he is in the gap between time and space. He apologizes and tells him that in the timeline he came from, he was dead along with his teammate. After that, the destroyer sucked up all their souls and memories. Aji is in pain from not being able to do anything. That's when the man offers to return him 3 minutes back in time for another chance at salvaging them. Aji is shocked to see that the man is actually his father. He encourages Aji to do his best and tells him that he will be waiting for him at the demon's furnace when everything comes to an end. When Aji woke up again, he was back a few minutes before they were attacked by the destroyers. He immediately got up and told the others what they needed to do. Moments later, Shadow arrives and slices the van in two. However, this time the van is empty and only holds a bomb. Aji's simple plan was to switch cars to avoid another ambush, and Stan confirms that one of them was caught in the blast, but Aji is certain that they still don't have much time. They need to pick up Hana before the destroyer gets her. When they arrive at Aji's house, they are surprised to see that she is not there and has left a note. Then the two go outside, and Stan has bad news for them. The destroyer is only 2 kilometers away. But he also had good news. He borrowed Hannah's helicopter for their getaway. They opened Hannah's letter, and it says here that it will wait for it to go to the demon furnace, which is the same thing his father said to him. Stan knows about it, and according to him, this is where the other summoners used to go to become summoners, like other members of the Destroyers and also Hannah's grandfather, but unfortunately, he doesn't have a clue where the demon furnace is. Luckily, Aji shows the coordinates left by Hannah. It's 7,000 kilometers from their current location, so if they head there immediately, it should take them 7 hours to make the journey. A few hours later, Stan wakes them up and arrives at the entrance to the demon furnace. The helicopter gets violently tossed around by the hurricanes until, all of a sudden, everything becomes calm, but Aji can sense that something isn't right. Shadow appears behind him, but Aji blocks her with his holy shield. The slash still tears the helicopter apart, and while they are falling, Stan reassembles the helicopter into a robot with hands that hold all of them. Flame appears, rains bullets down on them, and effortlessly avoids their attacks. The robot begins to crumble as a result of the damage. Crow appears, and this time Aji uses a mystic cannon that seems to hit its target, but a murder of crows emerges from where Crow was supposed to be. The birds turn into flames and burn the robot, which has taken too much damage, and they are forced to crash land on the island. However, the destroyers are already there, and tensions begin to rise. Suddenly, an administrator of the demon furnace, Bunny, came and issued them a final warning because they had committed 12 rule violations on the island. The first rule, according to Bunny, is that no one may kill outside of their arena. Whether they are the richest guy in the world or the head of a nation, it makes no difference. The regulations of the demon furnace apply to everyone. She says that the troops on the destroyer's side should already be familiar with the rules because they have graduated from there. Shadow gets pissed at the bunny, but Heart stops her, saying they must respect Bonnie because they're in the demon furnace. After that, they all teleport away. Aji and his friends are grateful for the help, but Bonnie says she'll be waiting for them at the registration plaza and rushes off. They try to run after her, but she's unbelievably fast, and the chase makes them exhausted. But luckily, a traveling merchant named Richard finds them and offers a lift on his giant reptile. Richard explains that there are just laws in the demon furnace, neither good nor bad. He continues by saying that the planet would burn up since the Watchers and Destroyers began a conflict years ago. The two sides worked out a ceasefire to minimize disaster. The small island was created, and the two sides now settle disputes peacefully in accordance with the rules in the arena. They finally reach the town, and Richard asks a bartender to bring out the goods. The group enjoys a drink and finds that it has actually healed all their wounds. They have racked up quite a large bill, but Richard says that he will take care of it, and they can pay him later. They tour Furnace Town, a lively town with countless markets, restaurants, hotels, and homes. However, the town is also called Loser's Town because only those who lost at the arena live here. They stop for a moment at an equipment shop and admire all the wonderful clothing. They all have their clothes patched up, and Richard generously covers the bill for them. After that, they head straight to the registration hall. They make their way up the steps of the demon furnace, and they're filled with excitement once they reach the entrance of the legendary arena. The group reach the top just in time to hear Bonnie welcome everyone. She states that people have come from every corner of the earth to take part, and nothing divides them. Bonnie finally declares the day's registration open and tells them that in order to sign up, they need to be able to pass and enter any of the 4 gates. To enter Gate 1, you first need to pay 2 million furnace coins. Because Stan has a lot of money, he was able to pay for it right away, so he was able to enter here. To enter Gate 2, where only beautiful women can pass through, Dora transformed into her complete form, so she was able to pass right away and bring Aji with her. Meow also tried to show her beauty, but she was rejected. To enter Gate 3, where the physical strength of the body is measured, Maya's anger about the rejection caused her to breathe the measure of strength, and she immediately passed. Richard meets with them inside and explains that he got in through the final door, which tests someone's reputation. This is for the ultra-rich and famous, and it explains why many famous people fake their deaths so they can join the trials. They didn't know that Richard was one of the top 10 most wanted criminals. Bonnie then shows everyone the demon furnace arena, which has 100 floors. The platform starts descending when they meet a bunch of repeat competitors who haven't even gotten past the first 5 levels. Once they reach the first floor, Bonnie activates the first checkpoint and explains that they'll come across a new one every 10 floors. The first floor is a luxurious hotel that is free for the contestants to stay in. She tells them to relax and have a fun time until the elimination challenge tomorrow, and she makes her leave. Meow sniffs out the hotel's restaurant, and they all rush to eat there. Afterward, the group enjoyed taking a bath, when they noticed a broadcast on the TV that announced Hannah and Bob as one of the MVPs of the arena, as she was the first to make it to the 11th floor this season. This makes everyone excited to see her, and Aji wants them all to do their best. Later that night, while Dora and Aji were sleeping, a weird sound woke Aji, and he was surprised to see that several traps had been activated. Dora tried to use all kinds of weapons, but they didn't work on the door. They have no way out of the room, and the window is also sealed shut. Aji tells her to conjure a skeleton key like she does her weapons, and they escape from the room just in time. They rush toward Meow's room, but they are shocked to see that Meow also escapes by turning into a giant cockroach and slipping through the gap under the door. Most of the other contestants also escape, but Stan is nowhere to be found. They saw blood outside the door, but Stan suddenly came out of the ventilation duct. Suddenly, the first floor boss announced and said that the trial had already begun. There are no rules in this round, and their only objective is to leave the hotel alive. Everyone must run as the floor becomes more and more dangerous. As they run, some of the floor ahead of them collapses into a pit of lava. Despite their best efforts, they are all sucked into the hole. Dora acts fast and uses her crystal wings to save Stan, while Meow and others hold on to Aji as he propels himself upwards using the jetpack in his shoes. The game runs and evades traps until they arrive at a door, but Aji manages to destroy this door. Inside, they saw the other contestants and the first floor boss named Renault. He congratulated all the arrivals for passing the first floor's trials and announced that only 30 passed, 49 were gravely injured, and 13 died in this round. Some contestants are very upset with how inhumane he is and decide to attack. But Renault used his power to create a trap to punish them. He reminded them that they can kill the boss in the demon furnace, and they are welcome to try. He awards all the winners with a wooden treasure chest for clearing the floor. Aji gets 3 crystal shards and 1 saffron ring, and Meow gets some furnace dollars. Stan hasn't opened his yet, as he wants to beg God first and finds that his is filled with explosives. Renault says he hit the jackpot, which was the ticket to the demon furnace's 2nd floor. The ground collapses from the explosion, and they make a rough descent to the 2nd floor, where they are greeted by Bonnie, who is the boss examiner. Bonnie explains that there aren't any rules. Only 20 laps around the track are needed to pass, and the first 15 contestants to complete them win. The race has a great start with Meow in the lead, but another animal summoner is close behind who exhibits the gliding power of a flying squirrel. While Aji is close behind, using his jet shoes, Dora explains that her wings make her much faster. Several other contestants are catching up, and that includes a father who brought his kid along. Stan is on a rocket and instantly passes several other contestants. One of the so-called veterans starts shooting bullets at other contestants. He fires at Dora and Aji as well, and it turns out that they are targeted by special bullets that follow them until they come into contact. Dora flees back to the cowboy to give him a shot in the back to taste his own medicine. Meanwhile, the mysterious poison master is releasing large clouds of mist onto the track, and now the contestant is suffering from breathing difficulties. Meow jumps up to the poison summoner and attacks him with a venomous snake. However, she just passed through, but she explains that she has made a friend. The flying squirrel uses his wind technique to create a tornado to suck him up into a twister. Another 6-armed summoner turns the track into a dash and slash by rapidly swinging his swords at anyone who comes close. Stan interferes by redirecting his missile toward the summoner. The swordsman simply slices the missile into multiple pieces, and Stan is about to be turned into pieces when one of his favorite manga writers appears and fights against the summoner. With his piercing words that turn into literal blades, the swordsman gets chopped up into pieces. Finally, the race draws to a close because there are less than 15 participants who are still capable of going on. All they have to do is cross the finish line to win. In another place, Destroyer members engage in a duel and discover they are evenly matched. Flame uses her amazing gun skills, but Shadow is able to block every blow that she takes. Their fight is paused, and Flame explains that she is frustrated that they can't just go into the demon furnace. The younger destroyer, named Space, summoned a TV to watch what was happening in the arena. Meow ends up winning the first prize with a 0.5 seconds of lead from Aji and Dora. The third floor challenge is a cooking competition dominated by Aji's group for creating delicious food. The fourth floor challenge is the loudest contestant, which in this case is a crying baby who defeats an electric guitarist. At the same time, Heart, the leader, walks in and Flame explains that it pisses her off to watch their enemies stuff their faces and have fun. However, the leader understands their anger over seeing their enemies having fun at the demon furnace arena. He instructs them to take someone with them and to tell Aji that he has sent them all a gift. In the meantime, Bonnie updates the higher-ups on the current arena event, stating that 15 of the 92 competitors from Group 7s this season have advanced to the 5th floor. She continues by saying that 30,000 tons of spiritual energy have been gathered as a result of all the competitions held so far. One of the elders explains that the teleport gate is ready and instructs her to activate the sacrificial program. Bonnie is sent to the 100th floor, where a giant unconscious woman wrapped up in chains hangs from the ceiling, the goddess Pandora. All the spiritual energy gathered from the competition is then sacrificed to her in the hopes of waking the goddess from her slumber. Thank you for watching till the end, and please don't forget to subscribe. See you next time, and peace out.